We are now recording the November 17th, 2017 Small Business Accounting Advisors. Hello, everyone.
Hello from San Jose and quick.
Hello. Do you know that my luggage tag came like on the 6th? It came, what's today? It came Wednesday.
From your luggage tag?
Yeah. People that had signed up for QB Connect got these really cool QB Connect luggage tags.
Oh, okay. And yours came the day it ended.
Well, yeah, just about. Well, I had sold my ticket, but.
So, yeah, and I'm not using this one either.
She's at the airport getting ready to go home.
That's right.
Yeah. They ended at 1:30, but I walked out about 1:05, 1:10 because on the last day they have coat check and we can bring all our suitcases in. But I mean, it's like everybody brought like 3 suitcases and left them at coat check. And I know 3,000 people leaving. I don't want to, so I wanted to be one of the first ones to get that.
That was smart.
Shuttle buses. And they provided free shuttle buses. They've covered everything.
Fantastic.
Lunch, heavy hors d'oeuvres for dinner. There was a reception every night.
Wow.
Tuesday night, Wednesday night, Thursday night, there was a big party. Wednesday night, Google sponsored the reception.
Wow, that's nice.
Very nice.
And Lisa Lang was the main speaker?
Well, she was like the master of ceremonies yesterday and today.
Today, yeah. I watched it, the recording.
Well, they did live streaming, I believe.
Yeah, I did that except I was downtown, so.
Yeah. So, and they do that at most of the conferences now. So that if you can't go, you can listen to the live stream of the main sections. Obviously not the breakouts, but.
Yeah, but the keynotes.
Right. And they are interesting, very interesting to listen to. But what QB Connect did not do, and I heard this from Seth, was no one else was allowed to go live on Facebook except
Right.
Oh,
right.
Okay. Well, that's fine with me.
Well, and that protects them. That protects them because they don't want you to get in the habit of watching the live feeds and then you don't fly out and attend next year.
Yeah, but you know what? You're not going to see like every breakout session. Or if you do see something from the live feeds, it's only going to be 5 minutes, 10 minutes, not the whole session. So I would think it would give you a tease of what
they actually.
Right. Yep.
They actually, I was sitting next to a man next to me. I think they're announcing luggage coming out. There's a man sitting next to me working on an Apple computer, and you now can tweet from inside of QuickBooks Online Accountant.
Really?
Send tweets from inside. I'm not quite sure how, but I watched him do it. And he would take pictures with his phone. They'd go over to his laptop. He would type in a quote of what somebody on said. It was a panel about apps. And I'll share more about some of the apps later on, with some of our further meetings. But he was typing, and at the end, I waited till the end, and I said, "You were just working, weren't you?" And he said, "Yes." I said, "Well, I want to congratulate you. You're very efficient and very streamlined." He must have done 60 tweets in 60 minutes with pictures and quotes and all of that. And he said, I said, "Who are you working for?" And he says, "I'm working for Intuit QuickBooks Canada."
Oh.
Being paid to really.
Social media, marketing, yeah.
But it's funny because for them, the social media is tweeting. And it's really interesting because I remember in the beginning when they had the Google Plus and the Facebook and the Twitter and that, and they're going like, well, how is Twitter going to make money?
Right.
Turns out that Twitter is really one of the more important places because whenever something happens, like when that plane crashed in San Francisco,
go right to Twitter. Yeah.
The people on the plane right away tweeted out, "We just crashed." It's like
right.
it's like you're right there. there was somebody at my lunch table yesterday whose husband was there at the shooting in Northern California the day before.
Oh.
But it was really amazing. At that shooting, as soon as the school heard one gunshot, they locked everything down.
They locked down.
I heard that, yes.
Immediately. They didn't question it. They didn't say, "Oh, what should we do?" They just
Right.
did. And
Yep.
it saved so many lives. The only
That's
child that was hurt was outside. His mother was delivering him, and I guess he got hit, but he's alive. You know, he just was injured.
That's the only good thing that came out of Sandy Hook, was it taught all the schools to emergency procedures like that.
Yeah, yeah, and I guess now they practice drills, but they're still working on it. And you know, you want to explain it to your kids so your kids can understand and not be scared to death.
Right.
And that, I think, is the big problem, is kids are being scared to death. Could you imagine going to school? Like if we went to school and having to worry about that? I mean,
it used to be a place of safety.
Right, right.
Yeah, and I guess the idea that, you know, going to the basement and covering your head in that, or getting under the desk for a nuclear bomb.
Oh, yeah, that was...
That was not, but that's not somebody shooting you with an AK-47.
That's not somebody shooting at you, and there weren't prior incidents of it happening. That was just,
nobody had ever dropped a bomb.
well, no.
But look how important social media and Twitter and stuff like that is when there's a crisis. That's the first place we go when we hear something's going on. We go to Facebook and we go to Twitter.
That's right.
You know,
Exactly.
is everybody okay?
Although,
we hear about all these things right away too.
Yeah.
I do want to say,
filter.
if I'm in QuickBooks Online, I don't want to be tweeting. There is nothing on my computer that I want to tweet for the world to see. You know what I mean?
It's okay.
Yeah, I don't understand the tweeting within an accounting package. That's weird.
Yeah, that I would much prefer. Can I be in a transaction and send that information that I have a question about? What did you spend that $250 on that you took out on the ATM on?
Right.
You can.
You know?
I think you can do that too.
No,
That's part of the.
not directly from the transaction level. You can.
Okay.
Yeah, at the main screen, but not at the transaction level.
Got it.
They'll get there.
So they will.
Were
probably.
there and took it away, Sarah. I don't understand.
Really?
Yes.
Probably
I
was
remember
buggy.
you used to be able to do it, and then.
Huh.
You know, they decided it would be better if you took them out of the transaction and did it like at the home screen, which I don't understand at all.
Well, the other thing, I mean, I guess the other thing you could do is you could either have two tabs open, and I don't know how many tabs you have open at a time, or if you have two computers next to each other.
Two monitors.
You have one computer with the dashboard on it, and you're working on this one, and when you get to that transaction, you can move your fingers over to the other keyboard and do it on the other.
Much more.
It's a lot more efficient if you just could do it. Yeah.
Right.
Well, yeah, but.
So what was the big announcement? What was the big announcement? Did you, Sarah, you were asking?
Well, they're doing a lot of things from QuickBooks Online Accountant. There's a lot going on there.
More practice management ideas, yeah.
Yes, and the projects. And the other thing is...
Progress invoicing.
Assistant.
The assistant is a kick. It's called QuickBooks Assistant, and we're going to name it QB, like QUBY or QUBI.
There you go. Because I read an article this morning that said how lame that there's Alexa and there's Siri and all these cool names, and that Intuit went on and on for weeks and weeks and weeks debating over what to name this AI, and finally they said it's QuickBooks. It's an assistant, and they said no, we'll just run with that. So QuickBooks Assistant is like, give it a damn name.
QB. I like it. QB.
QB. I like QB. Hey, QB. Yeah.
That's what we call it. And they have, so you can say, and he demonstrated it. He said, how much money did I make in October? And so it answered and it showed that he had made so much money, but it was income. It was just income only. It wasn't net profit, you know. And so then he said, well, compare that to last year. Well, the poor did the intelligence, the artificial intelligence.
Hebe got confused.
Yeah, did not compute. So when he finally said, how much money did I make last October compared to how much money I made this October?
You have to be clearer, yeah.
And then you got to be clearer. So it makes sense. And that's kind of cute. And that's all.
It's cute. That's what I was thinking. You know, well, I did see a use case today. It's like, because other products are coming out with it. But, you know, if you are a salesperson or out and you just say, how much does so-and-so owe me? Or, you know, because you don't want to sell them, you know, I mean, it could be anything from your accounting records.
Well, that would be a lovely way to get reports out. That would be definitely an improvement over what you've got now.
Yeah, so your books are closed. Go talk to your assistant.
Let's hope the information you put in there is correct.
Uh-huh.
You know, that's so important, you know, and I just was really I went to a lot of niche things where they talked about different niches, and I've become more and more clear about my niche. And I just had a great time meeting people. And I met a guy. I sat down next to a guy yesterday, and he was a developer, and he created Checkbook. And I think it's Checkbook.
Oh, Checkbook.io. Yeah.
Awesome.
He wasn't on this hangout. Well, he was on CESP then, huh? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It could be, but I'll tell you, that was impressive. He sent me $1.
Yeah, he always sends $1.
It was 79 cents for him to send me $1. That's it.
Yeah.
It's better than an ACH. It's a checkbook. And I don't have to give him anything other than my name and my email address. Then he sends me a link. And then I started typing in Southern California Edison Federal Credit Union.
Yeah.
Came right up.
Nice.
You know, I had gotten a check from my roommate through Zelly, Zell.
Yeah, that's what Wells Fargo uses.
Well, she's with Chase, and I guess that's what they use too.
Yeah.
I didn't have actually it had one of my banks. It had TD Ameritrade, but I don't have that information with me because that's where my savings investment account is. So when I get home, I'll look that stuff up and deal with it. But I was pretty impressive how well it worked.
Is this technology going 100 miles an hour, isn't it?
Yeah, whatever.
Well, no, you know, when I was talking to developers lately, and I'm like, you know, if you're 4 months behind on a feature, that's huge. You know, months, it makes that big of a difference that your competitor is going to get something on the market before you. And I'm not talking about years. I'm talking about
months. Oh, yeah. Months. Absolutely.
And so I was telling them, you know, I said, what? Well, the other thing that I was saying is when I'm recommending software, it's like payroll software, okay? And at one point, I would have never recommended Gusto, okay? Too simple. You fill out each check. It has to be perfect. You hit enter, and it's done. I mean, one check at a time. You couldn't like step back and like approve the whole batch and all this. But I can't continue to say don't use Gusto after a couple months because the things I was complaining about may be fixed. So the time that you have to spend to go back and go, all right, you know, where are you in your journey? You know, today, and especially with the products that are, you know, improving all the time, which they should be. You know,
absolutely. So you're smart.
But the other thing, here comes one of those mockingbirds walking by looking for food. I'm in the airport, but the mockingbirds come in, and they've learned if they fly in around the baggage area, there's lots of food because people got food.
A real mockingbird.
She showed me earlier before we were recording.
Oh, that's funny. Oh, that's
See it over there?
See
it walking?
There it is.
See it?
Oh, with the sliding doors opening and closing, they just come on in, huh?
Yeah, they just run right in. So
That's funny.
anyway, it's kind of funny. Yeah, it's just surprising. Trying to remember where I was. I forgot.
Sorry.
Oh, the thing that bothers me most, though, about the apps, I want to be very careful because an app might get started, but then it doesn't last. And I
Right.
keep thinking, remember that program that we worked with for a little while? I think it began with a C. Correlytics, yeah. Where are
Mm-hmm.
they?
Right.
Right. Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
So you don't know. So it's kind of like my thought is you really need somebody to be in business for 5 to 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
Where you can start really believing in them.
Isn't that funny? I said that at my meeting this afternoon.
And Dennis has
I
always
have,
said that.
yeah, some venture capitalists and some investors were getting together, and it's for accounting software.
Got
And
it.
so my client brought me.
Good for her.
And because I'm like, but what was so funny was everybody at the table, nobody knew anything about nobody knew anything about technology.
Oh, that's funny.
These are you get wealthy investors, and they want to invest in a company, and so we're hearing things like and so it all sounds great, but then I start asking delving questions, and they're like, "Where'd she come from?"
Does she work for Kevin O'Leary?
Oh my gosh, it's funny. And so they're going to have the CEO call me.
Good.
And because see, and I don't want to make it an age thing, but yeah, it's an age thing. I think the technically savvy crowd,
Yep.
like you said, you want to invest in that app, and you're talking about as a user investing in the app. Can you imagine investing in the app as with finances?
Really?
But,
Wow.
do you want to invest in something that's a startup and new? And what are the competitors? What's the long-term plan? What's your feature set? I want to hear all that. But I was I just got dough in the headlights from the ones with the money. So they're trusting people like, well, they're trusting the person they're talking to, and they're trusting me because there was brought that we can ask the right questions. But
Right.
It's amazing when you think about how money moves around and things get invested. If you don't know the product or the industry, even.
I know.
But you know what, Sarah? Honestly, I think as accountants, we have been working with technology because tax programs change every year.
Right.
We have to get used to a new program, a new thing all the time. So for us, it's not that big of a deal. But when you talk to business owners or people that, are not used to doing that, it's totally different. It's the dough in the headlights.
In the headlights, and they were talking. They were talking about bankers and trying to get bankers to come on board. And and one of the guys, is a long time 40 retired banker, and he goes, you know what? It's just this herd mentality. It's like, we know we need to do this, but we're not going to do it first, and.
Right.
And they try to pull the trigger, but they can't make a decision. Mm-hmm. And then he was funny because he said, you know what? We learn to read financial statements and try to make decisions on whether we're going to lend money or not. But we don't compile them. We don't know how they came together.
Right, exactly.
No.
So it's funny. So,
I was reading in the system.
I was reading on Facebook today, and I think it was in our group, but it might have been in a BWAM or the QuickBooks Power Hour. Those are the 3 groups I use a lot on Facebook. And the person was saying that a guy is pretty sure it's somebody that she's it's Billy Ann Grieg from Oklahoma, who's giving a proposal, and she gave a proposal of $1,600 to reconcile a whole bunch of accounts.
Oh yeah, the guy that hadn't reconciled. Okay, you know what? Yeah.
Because he wants an accurate financial statement, and he's sure that it's overstated his income. And she's saying, well, you have to start by reconciling your accounts.
He's never reconciled his bank account. Yep. You know why? Because the software told him that it would do it would do his books for him, because it pulls in all with bank feeds. It pulls everything from the bank, so we know it's right. And and that's what I was saying today is, just because you have a debit or a credit in a checkbook does not mean it's landing in the right place to give good financials.
Well, right, especially when every time you pay a loan,
the
loan amount gets higher. Hello,
something's wrong.
And a loan payment is not an expense.
When you pay a loan, you're paying principal and interest.
Right.
Do you think the bank is splitting it out correctly?
No, they don't know how.
No.
Exactly.
So but they don't get that. So that's
why I think our jobs are secure.
I think so, because it'd be really hard to teach a computer to ask the right question. I think maybe Watson, isn't he the guy? Watson's a computer that's on Jeopardy, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think maybe Watson could do some of this, but I don't know about the others. You'd have to get.
Well, it all boils down to rules. Now, if the bank, now here's a concept.
Yeah.
That was tossed around. If your accounting is linked in doing the banking, and the bank knows how much is principal and interest.
Yeah.
See, now we're talking.
Well,
now we're talking.
Need to be able to
that
get
way, and it doesn't usually do that.
No, that's new. That's the type of technology that we're heading towards.
And banks need to get on board yesterday.
That's right.
Right, and that was my meeting today. Is what is up with the banks?
Yep.
I mean, we can't even get bank statements with images. I mean, come on, SunTrust
still can.
Huh?
Some people still can. I've got a client that from U.S. Bank. U.S. Bank sends you the images. Maybe they pay for that though.
Yeah, well, some of them, like I know you do. Sometimes they charge you for that, but the only way to get images of your canceled checks with SunTrust is to get paper statements.
Oh.
Right.
So HubDoc can't pull them. And this isn't a small bank. I'm talking SunTrust.
I know. Well,
there's no standards. Everybody's on their own. All the technology's different at every bank.
Absolutely.
And the guy today, he was dead on. He goes, they can't make a decision.
I worked for a place like that where they
could cost money, and you don't know how much money it's going to cost,
and
you don't know
banks
to weigh that risk.
Yeah.
Well, exactly, and that's a really good point. That you make a wrong decision and go the wrong way, you can lose millions. What's the option? Don't wait and see who's doing what, and then follow. But how what is it? Wells Fargo just got in bed with Bill.com, like within the last month, right? Month or two?
Was it Wells Fargo? Well, good.
Okay. I've figured out that there's some banks, when you use their online service, you're using Mineral Tree. Or if you go to Bank of America and use their payroll system, I think the back end was into it.
Aha.
That's what I'm saying. They aren't getting their own technology. They're partnering up.
That's right.
Which is a smart thing to do.
So that's the meeting today was a company that, that's what they want to do, is partner with banks. And I said, that's great, but it isn't just the bank. You got to satisfy us. Because the business owner is gonna say, okay, banker, that's a great idea, but then they're gonna call us and go, can you run it?
Do it.
Yeah.
You know, can you run it? And every bookkeeper I know of has QuickBooks on their resume. And then all these other ones, there's hundreds of them. It's like, who are you?
Oh, it's heavy.
Yep, exactly.
So I said, I want to hear more chatter about what you're doing for the accountants and the people in the field.
Yeah. Right.
So yeah, when I go to banks and because I go to a lot of different banks for different nonprofits that I work with, and they ask me, "Oh, would you like to do this?" And I say, "Well, since you're asking me, let me tell you my opinion."
Yeah, there you go.
You are so behind technology-wise that I refer to other banks. Once you step up your game a little bit, I'll come back and talk to you.
Yeah, absolutely. Gina, did you watch any of the keynotes, the live streamed keynotes with QB Connect? Or did you see the one with Deborah on it?
I missed that
Deborah
one.
was awesome.
Oh, man.
Tell people.
Oh, she was a riot. And she will say, here's my business model. You either fit or you don't.
That's
and
it.
And they say, well, what do you say if you don't? She says, I don't have to tell them anything. I just say you don't.
Find somebody
But
else.
she tells them which banks to use. She'll go, oh, if you're using that bank, no.
She will not stay. If you're with SunTrust, forget it.
Forget it.
No, I don't do SunTrust.
I don't do SunTrust. She'll say, you're not going to use this, and this bank. You will use this one or this one.
Yeah.
Period. She says, because technology-wise, I'm not screwing with that anymore.
Right, I'm not going to download
that's
and
wonderful.
import.
And
well, the banks have got to figure out.
And the banks find out, they will get in line then.
Like a dinosaur.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's coming, but I'm impatient. I want it now.
So they streamed some of Deborah's comments?
Well, you know what? I don't think it... Yeah, somebody was streaming it, and then somebody...
Oh, she was so good.
It was on Facebook. I watched it. Somebody streamed it, and then, the whole thing. It was great.
She was amazing.
Oh, she was in her element. I am so glad that she... Because, I remember a couple years ago, and going, you could do this. You could speak. And I thought, oh...
Yeah, and while she does it, she speaks from the heart.
Yep.
She's authentic. And she shares right from the heart.
Yep. And very factual. It's this way or not.
Right.
Period.
Yeah.
And she goes, I'm not mean. And she goes, I'm not mean about it. And one of the other guys said, I'm scared.
Well, they're not used to people being so straightforward.
So straightforward. She is a shoot from the hip. And you either love it or you don't like that style. But I tell you what, if you like that style, she will take care of you.
Oh,
absolutely.
Yes,
absolutely.
I'm going to be more like her. That was one of the things I decided. I played with the idea of doing QuickBooks self-employed, but I don't think
I'm not. Nah.
No, because it turns out you can't customize the chart of accounts. So
you can't do hardly anything with it.
I know.
It's not
and there's no migration. Now, if they had a migration path where they get you hooked and then go, oh, you need this and this and this feature. Oh, let's move you up to the next level. There's there's no path. I'm like, well, who thought that up?
Right. And the other thing is you can't reconcile the bank accounts if the person is mixing personal and business on the same bank account. There's no register, I guess.
Huh? It's like just a P&L. It's probably just a P&L. It's just a P&L.
No balance sheet whatsoever. That's why.
That's like the original Quicken. The original Quicken.
Yeah, and not even the latest one. So, because with the latest ones, you could customize the chart of accounts in that. And I would put the business income and business expenses up above. The ordinary income expenses. Then the personal, I would have be other income and other.
Yeah, that's what I do. Yeah.
And so you take the top part, and then on the bottom part where the personal expenses are, I have Schedule C stuff and Schedule C stuff is up above.
Up above.
But Schedule A and Schedule
contributions and the more, anything tax related. Yeah, exactly.
You just leave it personal.
But you know what that software is doing is the P&L is strictly business. They don't care about the other side of the entry. It doesn't, to them, it doesn't matter. They don't care if there's personal and all that. They only want to see the business, and then that's all it does is the Schedule C.
And that won't work for me. So I'm thinking I'm going to work with the QuickBooks Online. I got my first client with one data file. And then they actually have 2 more companies. So we're going to.
Yeah.
You'll be coming
the next 2.
I still have 2 of those $5 ones available.
Okay, nice to know.
I'm paying, you know.
Right now available.
So what am I paying, $10 a month for nothing?
More?
Huh?
Will they sell you more?
I don't think so. No,
I think you may. I think that you
really?
can. I think that you
can
talk to. Yeah.
That she can get them.
Huh. Because I use one for my personal books because Mark was Quicken and I was QuickBooks, and we got married and we just couldn't merge. So we compromised and went to QBO, the both of us, and that got my feet wet. And then I've donated it to a couple nonprofits, so that was the other 2.
Got it.
And now I've got 2 more openings, but nobody has payroll.
No,
and nobody has anything complex. Yeah.
And the way I'm bringing in the POS into the restaurant QBO one is through zero-sum sales receipts through a clearing account.
Yeah, and you can do that. Yeah.
That'll work really well. And then you don't have to worry. There's certain POSs that work well and integrate, and I understand there's just really 3 of them.
Yeah.
What 3 ones?
Was one of them.
Do you know what the 3 are by any chance?
One is Revel, Revel, and then there's one that starts with Spot, but it's not Spotify. Wait a minute. What? It's Shop something, but it's not Shopify. And then there's one other one. I can't remember, but it's not Lightspeed. And this particular restaurant uses Lightspeed. So, but the daily summary, you print that out. You create a zero-sum sales receipt.
Right.
You memorize it, and you have it.
Fill in the blanks.
You
fill in the blanks. Yeah. Wow. I do that with ADP. I've been doing that for these schools. I memorize the journal entry. I've set it up on a reoccurring. And you just change the numbers
in there. And it's in the exact same order that it comes out the report. People aren't going up, down, up, down. No, they're going down, 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 down.
Right.
Hello. It doesn't take more than a minute to put
I know. Once it's set up, once they have a you or one of us that knows what we're doing, and
right to get
all those little tricks. We're the ones that love to share those tricks.
So I learned another trick too. I forget what it was now, but I've invited a number of people to join our group. Obviously today everybody's flying.
Yeah.
So,
traveling or whatever they're doing.
Yeah, it was just because I'm so obsessive compulsive that I'm here.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
Speaking of that, are we going to meet next Friday? How is everybody's doing for Thanksgiving?
Oh, I'm around.
Yeah, I think traditionally the day after the holidays has always been very busy. So I'm going to, I'll be here next week.
Okay.
Yeah, and if nothing else, we can always go and I can ask Nancy Smythe to come on and share some maple-flavored vodka with us.
Oh, we haven't seen her in so long.
I know. That time of the year that she want to probably use that up.
That maple teeny thing. Nice.
What a hoot.
It's more relaxed on the holiday, too. We talk about who we got together with our families and that kind of stuff.
Yeah. It's funny, since we're going to my niece's for Thanksgiving, Mark, last night, we eat a lot from a place called Cabela, where you go in. Well, you've all seen me when Mark will call me during the hangout, and I got to give my dinner order. But he does a FaceTime and shows me all the entrees, and then shows me all the sides, and then we can come home and eat it up. And these 2 girls can cook. Oh, my God. So last night he goes, wait a minute. We're going to Amber's for Thanksgiving? I said, yeah. He goes, that means no leftovers. He goes, so we're going to actually buy Thanksgiving dinner from our favorite gals just so we have leftovers over the weekend.
That sounds good to me. Sounds good to me.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm going to be tired. I think I'm going to sleep a lot
Yeah.
tomorrow and Sunday, but that's okay.
It's hard to believe it's next week.
Yeah.
Oh man, the year end is coming up on us hard
Yes,
and
it
fast, man.
is. Yes,
It is. I know, and Christmas, and I'm kind of hoping to get a couple more QBO accounts to take up my last 2 and to get them really work to get them set up between Christmas and New Year's or something. 'Cause
Yeah.
some people like to do that, you know.
Mm-hmm. This is the season for getting ready for January 1s,
I
and
have to do that. I'm going to have to get back to work with the
I have 2 clients that I'll be
Chamber of
doing that.
Commerce because we have to start a new data file for them.
or new payroll. If you're going to make a payroll change, now's the time to gear up
I
and do
told
it.
all my clients, if you're going to change payroll, you change January 1st.
Absolutely.
Do not change any other. I mean, if you have to, you change at the end of a quarter. But really, who wants to get 2 W-2s?
Oh, or merge history into the new program.
Right.
So yeah, so I have to follow that up with a lot of people. I'm needing to really hunker on down here and pull a Debbie.
Yeah.
Oh, we don't do it that way. We do it here.
Did you hear what she said? How many clients she handles single-handedly?
Yes.
I mean, in my heyday, I think I was doing 30, 35 by myself, but I was young and fast. And I don't know. I just my clients are larger and more complex.
They weren't simple service businesses.
Yeah, see, she's got her model. Simple service, QBO, bank fees, boom, boom, boom. Doing one client may take her 15 minutes.
That's right. QBO plus too. She doesn't do any of the others, just the plus.
So yeah, what a way to do. Yeah, I just can't seem to find clients that way.
Yeah,
I get the hard ones.
Although there's times I like the hard ones. I like
a challenge. I
just turned a challenge down.
Yeah, did you?
QB Desktop, Enterprise, corruption problems.
Oh, yeah.
Intuit told them they needed a new database. So responses, I've had problems with corruption. I need to start a new database. I want to keep 5
years. What happens is they start a new one that they carry the problems over without even realizing what they've done. You can't rebuild in the new program. You must rebuild in the old program if you're going to try to get
absolutely.
If that doesn't work,
you know,
start fresh.
That's what I told him. I have too many already this year that I'm doing myself, so I don't have the time for it, but let me give you some advice. When they say rebuild a new database, that's what it means. You do not keep 5 years. You do not keep any years. You start new. However, you do have the old database archived, and you have data. You're not losing it. It's not going anywhere.
Right.
The other
you just can't do comparative financial. Well, that's where my TBX comes in handy.
Program comes in. And if that's what they wanted, that would be the part of the process of building a new database.
All right.
And in that instance, I don't even want to import the customers and vendors.
Really?
Well, corruption can live there.
It can. I don't mind but I use it as a chance for them. The other thing you can do is you can, I usually tell people to go through and clean up and hide or delete it.
Yeah.
Right.
And then export it.
And then once it's exported, there's no corruption with the export.
Yeah. If you export it to Excel or to IIF maybe if you left it in IIF, it would. But if you go to Excel or a CSV and then bring it in.
Yeah, it'd be all right.
Fine,
and then you can go down and clean it up even more. You know. So.
But you will find, Linda, as you do more QBO work.
Yes.
Get those charts and lists as clean as possible because once it gets into QBO, you can't delete. you can only hide, and then it doesn't really hide.
No, it does not. And the lady, and I know the lady who ended up dropping me with QBO that was bringing the interior decorator.
Oh, yeah.
Ivy.
Uh-huh.
She had 6 sales tax payable accounts.
Right.
The only way I was able to clean that up is I was able to make 5 of them sub-accounts of the main one. But I know she never cleaned that up. And I know and I told her, you better start a new data file for January 1st because you're just going to have a terrible mess. And she just never really wanted to understand it. And so that's
you can lead a horse to water.
That's right, but you can't make them drink. And it's okay. It's all good. She's not my tribe. It's okay.
Right. She's not my tribe. I love that. She's not my tribe.
Yeah, well, it was really interesting. Shonda Rhimes spoke yesterday, and she wasn't the best speaker of the whole world. She's probably one of the most brilliant people that was there. She's very deep, and she's a storyteller. And she said, the television is our campfire. Oh, shoot. I'm sorry. Cortana keeps coming up here, and I'm not even quite sure how to make it go away.
It doesn't ever really
go. Yeah, I probably need to turn it off.
What is it?
But the campfire and the tribe. And you know, it really is true. And I said, yeah, and Jeopardy is my tribe. So it's
I love it.
You know, whereas for Shonda Rhimes, Grey's Anatomy, and How to Get Away with Murder, that's her tribe. And she's the storyteller in there. Now, she is not the writer. She's the producer. She creates the story.
She's the interpreter.
And then she tells the writers who the characters are and what that this is the story. Now write the dialogue.
The vision. She gives them the vision.
She gives them the vision and the story, and then they write the dialogue, and then the actors and actresses and everybody else does it. But I thought that's a great way to look at it, is sitting around the campfire telling your stories.
Nice.
We tell our stories too.
Well, that's what we do here.
That's exactly right.
I told a story last Friday.
So you got known at the local axe office.
We're doing pretty good, the three of us, because it's 3:21.
I know.
So it's got to be 6:21 on the East Coast.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
hunger time.
Yeah, it's about that time. I'm going to eat a nut bar and go through security. And
all right. Well, we can end now if you would like. I'm happy that you came on, Linda. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Sarah, I always love having you on.
Yeah. So, and you're pretty much. You said you're going to your niece's, Sarah. Is that nearby, or do you have to go?
Yeah, she's on Hilton Head, and I have my great niece is just turned 3, and she has bright orange curly hair.
Oh, how precious!
Guess what she was for Halloween?
Raggedy Ann.
Oh no, that would have been great.
Was she Annie?
Annie.
Well, she could be Raggedy Ann another year.
Yeah, I'll have to tell him that. She is a hoot.
Oh, I'll bet she is.
Boy, she's gonna be a pistol when she's 13. I'm tell you.
That's good.
That red hair, boy, they're stubborn.
Sassy.
Sassy.
Right.
So cute. So that'll be fun because we've got a baby in the family now.
Yeah, babies are really.
Yeah.
They're just so authentic.
Yes, exactly.
Looking at the world through their eyes, they're so fresh,
really
unfiltered, and you get
I was talking with William English.
Yeah.
And he just had a granddaughter.
Oh, I saw the pictures. Yeah.
Madison. Oh, he got his phone out. It's horrible, and she's like 2.5 weeks old now. You can see
she's itty bitty.
And it's like, it's really kind of neat.
Yeah.
So that's since the time, before time, the campfire and the tribe, you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So anyway.
Well, y'all have a wonderful Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Same back at you.
Yeah.
Everyone have a wonderful Thanksgiving. We'll see you the day after, and have a
Good.
great weekend this weekend.
All right. God bless you all.
God bless you too. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.